Hello, I'm Jason Liosatos. This is Outside the Box, my show. What a joy today. How lucky we are. I'm here with a very amazing man. A very modest man, so you won't want me to say that. I'm here with Satish Kumar at the Schumacher College, which you founded. Thank you, Satish.
Pleasure.
And thank you so much for being you.
Thank you.
Satish has done so many amazing things. I think you left home when you were 9 and joined the Jain monks and walked for 9 years or something. You walked here, didn't you? It was incredible, you know. So thank you, Satish, for all you're doing. We're going to roll straight into the talk here because I want to ask Satish some things, because Satish is a very wise man who knows a lot of things, and I do feel we're in a bit of a spiritual emergency at the moment, Satish. You know, more and more people are feeling broken. I'll just have a little rant about it here. I had a Buddhist monk came in my gallery yesterday, and he said to me, if people aren't going mad, they'd have to worry about themselves. Okay? And I think we're starved to spiritual death, and I've heard Satish, you say, a new system wants to be born. It needs to be born, Satish, and you've done that with this Schumacher College here. I feel like we're pregnant with a new system, Satish, and it's being prevented from being born by this Frankenstein's monster system that keeps being resuscitated again and again and again, and it's got a trajectory which keeps going, you know. And I just want to get your take on this, because I'll have a quick look. People are exhausted. I think like your magazine's called Resurgency magazine, Resurgence, yeah. Get that magazine. So I believe we're at a crossroads. We're like midwives of the future, but we're so tired we can't seem to give birth to this new system, Satish. Yeah. So where do you see us, Satish? I mean, look, we're sat on a grass here. I'm being healed already, you know, because I'm on the land again.
Yeah, that's right.
We've been dislocated, dismembered, and dislocated from the land and from ourselves as spiritually beautiful beings. And if you put a spiritually beautiful being into a system like this, what else can happen but it can go mad and lose its connection?
You're absolutely right that at the moment we are going through a spiritual crisis and a spiritual emergency. And you are right that the reason for this crisis is that we are dislocated and disconnected from our land, from our soil, and from ourselves, from our soul. And this is the reason I felt that crisis not happening only, but also coming and becoming worse. Therefore, one way I thought that we address it is to create a center, a community, or a college where people can nourish themselves and reconnect with the land, with the soil, and reconnect with their soul. Soil and soul go together. And so at Schumacher College, we have created 6 or 7 acres of garden. And we get students, they come for 6 months. And they come in the beginning of April, the growing season, when the spring starts. And they stay here until the end of September. And in that 6 months, every day, they are touching the soil, touching the plants, planting the seed, harvesting the fruit, and the vegetables, and the flowers. And that is their meditation.
And medicine.
And medicine. Meditation and medicine actually come from the same root.
Word root. Interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
Medure.
Medure.
Which means to take care,
Wow.
to heal. And when you need physical healing, you take some physical medicine. And when you need mental healing, you take some spiritual medicine, and that is meditation. And so our students take meditation and take touching the soil as a way of healing, and then living in a community and learning in a community. The disconnection is a lack of community. So earth is a community and humanity is a community. So I put soil, soul and society. This is my trinity, the new trinity for our time. I have written a book called Soil and Soul.
Quite a few of your books, and where can people go to get your books? The Resurgence magazine?
Yes.
Yeah.
They go to resurgence.org, shop,
Right.
and they can order my books.
Right.
And so Schumacher College was started in order to make a small example of how people can go back and reconnect with the land, with the soil, with themselves, and with the world. So this soil and the soul, they are the intimate, because we are of the soil. We are made of the soil. The word soil in Latin is humus. And humus and human come from the same root. So human beings are literally soil beings. So we are made of the soil. Our body is soil transformed. And the food we eat is soil transformed. And the trees we look at are soil transformed. And our clothes are soil. Everything comes from the soil and returns to the soil. And should return to the soil. And when we don't return something to the soil, it becomes pollution. It becomes plastic, it becomes atmospheric pollution and water pollution and soil pollution. So everything must come from the soil and must return to the soil. It's a cycle. So Schumacher College was established to set an example where people can experience that they can heal themselves and they can be whole and they can live a life which is good for them. And so this is a kind of, this is an effort we are making, and this has been going for the last nearly 30 years. And in the last 30 years, about 15,000 people come through Schumacher College, through our doors, and learn to meditate, to garden, to cook, to learn to live with each other and love each other. The moment there is a tremendous amount of fear about the end of civilization, the climate change, the climate emergency. So there's a lot of environmental movement is driven by fear. At Schumacher College we are saying the power of love is greater than the force of fear. So we must take care of the soil, not out of fear, but out of love for the soil, out of love for the planet Earth, out of love for Gaia, out of love for forests, rivers, mountains, animals, birds, humans, all living beings. So power of love is the real power. And this is what at Schumacher College we are trying to promote.
Well, thank you, Satish. You're doing a great job. It's like a sanctuary, and fear's paralytic to consciousness and development.
Yeah.
And it actually, if you were to say what are you most angry about, Jason, I would say, or concerned, is that fear is paralytic to consciousness in the way that it's preventing humanity blossoming into the most, well, it shouldn't have to blossom into a spiritual, wonderful thing. It is that.
Yeah.
It's like re-finding that, rediscovering that, tapping down into that. But, we've lost ourselves, Satish.
Yeah.
So, the system we're living in is based on fear, a lot of it.
Yeah.
Money, worry. I went to the supermarket the other day, and I shouldn't go to the supermarket. I should go to the locals, but this time I did. And I came back and I thought, I've just spent a huge amount of money. I'm paying my water bills, I'm paying my electricity bills, I'm paying this. And I suddenly thought, Satish, I'm paying for my own mother's milk, right?
Yeah.
I thought, hang on a minute, I've been dislocated from my mother, this earth.
Yeah, exactly.
And some middleman's sort of torn me off the teat of my mother and is saying, now you pay me for that.
Yeah.
It's insanity, Satish.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think more and more people are feeling that insanity inside themselves. And I was talking to this gentleman yesterday, the monk, and I said, it's a natural symptom, the depression and the feeling of not being well.
Yeah.
So someone comes into my shop and they say, oh, I feel so depressed. Actually, this man said yesterday, I feel like I just want to leave this planet, Satish. And more people are saying that to me, right? And I say to them as a joke, but it's true really, well, you're bang on track then, because those feelings are natural symptoms from a healthy spiritual body and mind in a system that's driving it completely nuts.
Yeah, yeah,
So there's an emergency
yeah, yeah.
to come
So
home, isn't it?
there are two ways to address this emergency. One way is to say that I want to leave the world. I don't want to do anything.
Can't stand it anymore.
I can't stand anymore. That's the kind of despair and desperation. But there's another way. And for me, that is the way I am pursuing. The other way is come back to basics. Come back to reality. As you said, we are children of the earth. And we have two hands. If we plant one seed, that one seed will give thousands and thousands of apples for 50 years.
It's amazing, isn't it?
So Mother Earth is bountiful, fruitful, and abundant. So return to the basics, return to the soil, return to the earth, and learn the skills of making with your hands. You don't need money. You have hands, you have imagination, you have a creativity. And all your hands, your imagination, and your creativity are given to you as a gift from the universe. You don't have to go to supermarket to buy imagination or creativity or your hands. And your hands have skills. They can build a house, they can make a pot, they can make shoes, they can make clothes, they can grow food, they can cook food, they can hold a child, they can caress somebody. Hands can do everything. So combine the head, the heart, and the hands together. Head, heart, hands. If we can take that path, then Earth is still living, is alive, is bountiful, is abundant, is there. But when we move away from the earth, from the soil, from nature, and go and live in big cities like London, New York, Tokyo, Delhi, Beijing, Shanghai, there's no soil, there's no hand. Only use of hand is to use on your computer keyboard or on your iPhone. Otherwise you are using no hands. So there is a simple, clear, but courageous way to live a different way of life and regenerate your spirituality and regenerate your love. And you touch the soil not only to get your food, but to heal yourself and connect with the earth. Only connect. Everything is connected. Everything is related. We are all one. But we have forgotten that truth. So if we can return to that truth, then we don't have to be in despair. We don't have to be in this kind of desperation. And we don't have to be sort of thinking, I can't stand it. You are capable. Every human being has a potential to be who they are. And they are divine beings. So our materialistic society has turned us into worried,
Robbed us, hijacked.
Yeah, hijacked our potential. And therefore we can take back the control of our lives. Every person can be the CEO of their own lives and manage it in a beautiful way, in a spiritual way, in an ecological way, in a sustainable way, so that you can be happy. Even today, even though the world is falling apart and we have conflicts and wars and climate change and global warming and poverty and negative politics, in spite of all that, I think humanity is greater. So I live with that kind of spiritual conviction and a kind of courage and a hope that we can take control of our lives and we can change our lives and we can come back to the land and we grow our food, we build our house and we teach our children to live well and meditate and love each other.
Well, that's what I like about you, Satish, is you're not in denial of reality. So many people I speak to say, you know, in the spiritual movements, oh Jason, you mustn't look at anything negative. What you resist persists. Well, maybe it does in a way, But how about if Hitler's coming over that hill and they say, oh, Jason, what you resist persists, don't look at anything negative. No, sometimes you've got to do something and be a spiritual warrior, you know?
Yeah.
But that's what I love what you've done here, and I love that way you talk, Satish, because you're saying to people, it's still there inside you. You can take that back. Of course, what's happened is people have become so depleted and exhausted that they feel they can't start to recreate that inside themselves. But we're like midwives. One of my talks is magicians with amnesia. I talk that we're magicians with amnesia. You know?
Yeah.
But as we're midwives, that's what I love what you're doing here. Satish here has created like a womb.
Schumacher College is like a midwife.
It's a midwife, right?
Yeah.
So you're teaching
people. So we are training here and educating here people, and we are saying that education of head, education of heart, education of hands, and you regain your strength, regain your courage, regain your confidence. And when you regain it at Schumacher College, then you go out and create a new way of life. So we don't want people to be in a kind of a negative mood. We want them to cultivate that courage and a conviction.
Transmute.
And transform. Transform
Yeah.
themselves, their mindset and their consciousness, and regain their skills so they can make a positive contribution. So it is no good living in despair, because not 7 billion people can't just go and commit suicide.
No. I bet the planets will be happy though.
Yeah.
I'm only joking.
And 7 billion people can't just do so. But 7 billion people can reconnect with the soil.
And like you said, Satish, if they can reconnect with themselves, reconnection with themselves, every individual does that, then the whole human orchestra will change.
Yes.
And play in constant pitch.
Yeah.
And of course, that's what we talk about with people like Bruce Lipton, who I've had on my show. You know Bruce well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bruce talks about, we talked about the manipulation of matter via consciousness. In other words, everything you see now, including Schumacher, everything in the world really was created by thoughts and actions previously made from today.
Yeah, exactly.
So everything we see is a consequence.
Yeah.
A feedback loop, if you like, made manifest.
Yeah, exactly.
So what we're saying here is that somewhere like Schumacher College, it's been proved this man, Satish, walked from India to make this place, right? I mean, if that can be done, think about it. Now, how many people must have said to you, Satish, oh, come on, you're dreaming, you're a dreamer, you know, you can't do that. There's nothing here, how can you make something out of nothing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And now there's people from all over the world flooding here, like Findorn.
Yeah.
Often desperate inside and feeling, oh my gosh, help me to come home, you know. And there's people like Bruce Lipton here, Charles Eisenstein coming here teaching, yourself teaching, Polly Higgins, or I just want to say sorry, Polly's gone now, unfortunately, you know. Not gone, but I know she's not gone, but Vandana Shiva, you know. And you've proved that we can be midwives and create something completely different. Now, one thing I want to say to you, Satish, and it's a very important thing, tying into what you've just said, is that humans have got a tremendous capacity for suffering and to endure very difficult consequences, Satish, and that's built inside us. It's a bit like an ethical alarm bell. It's placed inside us by God or by spirit or whatever to help us get through terrible times. You know, when you walked from India, you must have had times when you thought, I can't go on. And that is beautiful inside us, that resistance, and that we can carry on through terrible adversity. But I want to say this, Satish, that tremendous resistance and tremendous capacity to endure suffering is being taken advantage of now in human beings by the quite frankly some psychopaths who are running this whole show. Now, I know it's us that run the whole show. That's what we've got to remember, isn't it? Because if we transform ourselves and come back home, then we become the magicians again.
No, the thing is that there are some charlatans in the world, and there are some people who misguide you.
Keeping the Frankenstein's monster going. You know?
But each and every one of us have to take responsibility of our lives in our own hands. And be guided by your heart, your inner guru, not the guru outside.
No more gurus,
but guru inside. Other people can help you to light the candle, but you are the candle. You are the light. The light is within you. The other people cannot put light in you. It is there. You have to recognize it. So people who are good teachers, just take advice from them by all means, but follow your own heart, follow your own inner guru and inner spirit. And when you look within, this is why you meditate, close your eyes, look within. And when you look within, the whole universe is there. The love is there, the compassion is there, the generosity is there, the sense of service is there. All the things you need to be a whole person, good person, all are in your heart, in your own soul. So look within. Don't go out and make criticism of other charlatans or bad people in the world. Let them have their fate.
Change yourself.
Change yourself, be the change you want to see in the world, and look within and touch the soil and be in touch with your soul and serve the humanity. And you will be happy. That's the way to be happy. The spiritual renewal and regeneration begins by lighting the candle within. You have to start with yourself. You cannot start from somewhere else. You have to start, you are the first. So when I wanted to walk the world, I started. I took one step, and next step, and step by step, for 2.5 years I walked, and I covered 8,000 miles. And those 8,000 miles I covered through different cultures, different countries, different political systems, and I did all without a penny in my pocket. And that proved to myself that I can go around the world for 2.5 years, walking with my own 2 feet. I don't need a car, I don't need a train, I don't need aeroplane, I don't need a bicycle even. I have 2 legs, 2 feet, 2 hands, my consciousness, my love, my compassion, and my open heart. I can win the world.
You're amazing. Bless you.
Yeah.
You're amazing. You know, Satish, I want to just resonate quickly with what you said. So it's out there. And like you said, it's inside. The answers are inside. And from my own experience, I've been touched. I know you've been touched. I've been touched. Lying on my back, oh, thank you. Something's touched me and said, don't worry, we're here, you know. It's okay. I've had some great experience and I've been very fortunate. I know I'm guided and blessed. But like you said, stop going out there for it. It's in you, you know. And look at the word religion. It comes from the word religare, which means to religament, to retie to what's already there.
Yeah.
As you said, the gurus, you can get help from them, you can get advice from them. They can point you back towards yourself, as can the Bible, the Quran, all the great teachers, the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
But to resonate with that, they are still the words. They are the intellectual overlay. They are the theology.
You have to make the meaning.
Right.
You have to put the meaning in those words.
Yeah.
And you have to reconnect with that meaning, because words are words. You can read the Bible and one person can interpret the Bible in a different way and become very dogmatic and very fundamentalist.
Fanatical. And fanatical.
And fanatical.
Yeah.
And the other person can be a St. Francis or Mother Teresa, and who can be loving and serving the old, the dying, the sick, the earth, everything. So meaning is inside your heart. Meaning is not in the book. The book gives you the words, but the meaning is put by you in those words.
Yeah.
You can have word love, but that's a word. But when you practice love and you put the meaning in that word, then it becomes part of you. And so it's not the Quran or the Bhagavad Gita or the Bible or any other great book which will solve the problems. The problems are inside you, your heart, your soul, your spirit, your being. And if you can touch with yourself and look within, and you will find the answer, and then from inside you go out and you serve the earth, serve the humanity, serve your neighbor, serve your family, serve your children. Go out from inside. But inside has to be, like a tree comes from inside a seed. In the same way, the seed of love is in our heart, in our soul. And you take care of that seed, nurture that seed, and then come out. I'm not advocating that you escape from the world. I'm saying you come out. So I am at Schumacher College trying to do that. I am trying to bring that love in my heart to serve the young people, the old people, the middle-aged people, people of all nationalities. People have come here from 90 different countries. And they are of all ages, men, women, black, white, young, old, rich, poor, everybody welcome. So we can serve the humanity, and if I can do something here, you can do something in Totnes. If everybody do something similar in their own locality, then world will get better place. So we have to go with that conviction and act without any ego, without any selfishness, without any kind of self-centeredness, but in the service of humanity, but from within our own spirit.
And get the self out of the way.
Self out of the way.
When I do
ego out of the way.
When I do a talk, Satish, I always say, right, out the way, Jason.
Yeah.
Jason Liosatos, you know. But I like what you said, it's like not getting stuck in the map, you know.
Yeah.
Because often people can use the words, the religions, and they get stuck in the map, and then they get fanatical, and everyone else is wrong and they're right.
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
You know, and then fanaticism, they want to kill someone, you'll cut someone's head off, or the Christians have done it, the Muslims, everyone have done it.
Yeah.
And that's why people come here to see you. That's why people want to be around you, because you've got that light shining out of you. Like Gandhi, people wanted to be around him because they smelt the perfume that was lit inside him and which emanates and helps others. That's what you do, Satish, and I know you're very humble about it, but why do you think thousands of people want to come and see you here? Because they all want to see Satish. Because you've done the hard work. You've done the work to purify yourself. I'm not saying you don't make mistakes, everyone does, but I love that analogy by Ram Dass. Do you remember Ram Dass?
Yes, I remember. I met him.
Did you? Did you? I read all his books, you know. I was living in a car when Louise first met me, and I had all his books. And he said there's a musk deer and it's got a perfume coming from its navel. And they used to kill it for the smell of the musk. Not anymore. And Ram Dass, he said, people are like the musk deer. They're out there, sniffing out there, trying to find what's coming from their own navel, coming from themselves.
Exactly.
You know, it's like
that's
a tragedy.
A very good analogy. It's very
I love that analogy.
Very good analogy. So the musk, the perfume, the spirit, the happiness is within you. And if you look within, in your own navel, which means inside you, then you find it. You don't have to go around the world looking for that musk. A musk deer can go all around the forest, will not find it. When it sits down calmly and touches its navel, you will find the musk there. And so I think that's a very beautiful analogy. And this is what I'm trying to say, is that all of us, now the musk deer is spreading that perfume around as well. So once we find our love and our compassion and our generosity of spirit within us, then we can spread it. We don't have to just hold it to ourselves only. We can spread it. So inner and outer are in balance, working together. Inner spirit and outer spirit, within and without. So that the tree is in the seed, is inside, but then you put the seed in the soil, and that seed brings that tree out and becomes an oak, so that oak can absorb the carbon which we emit and give us oxygen and become a carbon of a tree, and a trunk is full of carbon. And so that carbon is also a positive force, a positive power. And so by bringing our inside into the outer world, we are making the whole world in and outer in balance.
And thank you, Satish. That's beautiful words from a great man. And I wrote a little piece the other day because there was a lot of people homeless in Totnes, you know.
Yeah.
And it just gave me that thought that most people, back to our start of our conversation now, secretly feel homeless. Right? And it's something we need to talk about, because most people don't talk about it. It's good morning, how are you? So well, very well, thank you. Well, actually today, I feel so desperate and disconnected, but there's no one I can tell. You know? So I think we need to come together now as communities and be honest. It's like there's a homelessness inside us, you know. And you know, it's a very exciting time. And in one sense, we're talking about the things that are damaging the world, but I think I wouldn't want to thank the psychopaths who are bombing everywhere. and the religious fanatics that are killing each other. But in one sense, that's the very thing, almost part of the perfume, that's forcing people. It's like a smelling salt under people's noses. It's forcing people to wake up. The horror, isn't it, almost? Now, we don't want to thank them, but I think we're at a point now where people are feeling so dislocated. It's that tremendous dislocation from spirit that's actually alerting people to actually, we could have a miscarriage here. The word epoch, I love the word epoch. It's actually a Greek word. It comes from the word epoche, which means stoppage, actually. So I believe now humanity and people individually are heavily pregnant with themselves, and when a pregnancy stops and a birth begins, there's a stoppage, an epoch. I believe we're there, Satish, right? And I think that it's time for us to push. And one more analogy that I like, I've got to say it. When a bird pecks its way out of an egg, a baby bird, the poisons inside the egg build to the point where the baby bird triggers the pecking, right? And I believe the poison in the world now, and the poison around us, the poison in ourselves, is triggering the awakening and the pecking within ourselves, Satish, you know? And it's like a huge homecoming, isn't it?
It's a challenge. The poisons of the world gives us a challenge, an opportunity to wake up and do something about it.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very important.
And you spoke at the, I know we haven't got long now, we'll wrap it up in a minute because Satish is a very busy man. Well, you spoke at the London Economic, the talk you gave in the school there. You spoke a lot of profit, sort of over, profit being more important than the human spirit, isn't it? And you were saying that we've got to change that now, right? And come back to, I can't remember exactly what you were saying there, but you were saying, obviously we've lost that knowledge of the natural things to do, as you said earlier, but it seems to me like profit is more important than human happiness.
So what I said at London School of Economics, LSE, is that they are teaching economy and economics.
Yeah.
But they don't teach ecology.
That was it, yeah.
And I said to them that ecology means knowledge of the ecosystem. And economy means management of the ecosystem. Now, if you don't know what the ecosystem is, that knowledge, how are you going to manage the ecosystem? Therefore, the study of ecology and economy must go together, like walking on two legs. Knowledge of the ecosystem and then management of the ecosystem. Those are two twins, and they are together. So you cannot separate them. So I suggested to LSE that they should change the name of their university and call it LSEE, London School of Ecology and Economics, and not just economics. For just economics, at the moment we are focusing only on economics, and we look at nature as a resource for the economy, and that's wrong. Nature is not merely a resource for the economy. Therefore, we have to look at nature in a very holistic way. That's what I said. One day they will change their name.
Nature's a source of life. It's nearly blowing us away.
Yes.
Isn't it wonderful? It's like, oh my gosh, you know. Before we go, any questions over there? For Satish?
Co-living project?
Oh yeah. I just want to mention the Eco Living Project, Satish. We're starting. I've heard you talk a lot about not only Schumacher but Findorn.
Yeah.
Communities popping up.
Yeah.
In one sense, it's not. I shouldn't say the word difficult because it's negative, really. But the system seems to prevent people from starting some new things. It makes it very difficult for people to escape the cage sometimes, you know. But we're starting something called Natural Earth Eco Living. And .com, and what it is we're coming together with other people of like minds, and we've decided to put some money together and start buying farms, okay, so a lot of farmers are struggling now, and creating a centre, a bit like Findorn, but more along the permaculture route, which I know you're into, and almost having a healing centre, a centre for transformation and consciousness, like
very
here.
Good, very good.
And if they're a success, we're looking at Trudos Bank can help us.
Yeah, Trudos.
Yep. And we want to spread those. And I believe people are saying to me, if you can create that, I want in.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, it's good.
Get me in, you know.
Yeah.
And eco houses and eco living.
So have you got some land?
Not yet, but we're starting to look at it now.
Yeah.
So this is obviously an appeal to anyone as well. If anyone knows of any land or can help us, advise us in any way.
Yeah.
please come forward and speak to us.
Yeah.
That's one thing. And
I wish you good luck with that, because we need many, many, many small centers where people can come to regenerate
Yes.
and renew and revive and revitalize
Remember.
their spirit and remember.
It's a dismembering, isn't it?
Yeah, remember and reconnect. And so we need many, many centers. Pindhorn, wonderful. Schumacher College, great. But we need many more, because there are 7 billion people in the world and not one place can serve everybody. And so different approaches. So your eco-living center, if you can create something, I will like to wish you success and wish you well. And I hope that you can do it. And I hope people will support you. Create a community where learning of head, heart and hands come together, where you reconnect with your spirit and you connect with the soil and live simple life, elegantly simple life, so that we can make a positive contribution.
Transform.
Transform.
Tell me about Vandana. You're working with Vandana before we go.
Yeah.
Vandana Shiva.
Vandana Shiva has created an eco-living center.
Look at that lady.
in her farm in India.
I want to say to her, if she watches this, because I'm going to send this, Vandana Shiva, thank you for being you.
Yeah.
You're a very
No,
important
Vandana
woman.
Shiva is a dynamic woman, a kind of great power and energy, and she has created this 50-acre farm. And on that farm, she has created an educational center, not dissimilar to Schumacher College, very similar to Schumacher College. And I am teaching there this October, from 1st of October, for 7 days. There will be a 1-week course at Vandana Shiva's farm called Navdanya. And it will be on Gandhi, globalization, spirituality, earth democracy, environment, ecology, all those issues will be discussed there. And so if you are able to come, please come. If anybody who is listening to this program, if they would like to come, please come.
Where can they find out about it? With the Resurgence magazine?
Resurgence magazine, but
.org?
also navdanya.org.
Right. So resurgence.org or navdanya.org.
Yeah.
And it's Resurgence. You've taken over another magazine now, haven't you? I forgot what
Resurgence and Ecologist.
Ecologists, yeah.
Yeah, together. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Satish, thank you so much. And before we close, I just want to say to this amazing man here,
Yeah.
very humble man, he doesn't like compliments, I know. But Satish Kumar, thank you very much for being you.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you.
And spreading the light of love and spreading and giving people hope.
Yeah.
For all you've done and all you will do.
Thank
you so much
You're
indeed.
Welcome. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you everybody. This is Outside the Box, more inside the box these days. And thank you to Satish and Schumacher and everything that's been done here. This needs to spread. There is a spiritual emergency and we all feel it inside, the dislocation and the dismemberment, and we need to relocate, remember, and it's a great remembering thanks to people like Satish Kumar. Thank you all so much, and don't forget to subscribe and go and see Satish's work as well. Thank you, lots of love. Bye bye now.